right, hello. This is Jeanette, your beautiful oracle from Inner Sun Alchemy, and I am here to do the monthly tarot forecast for the sign of Capricorn. So for those of you who have a Capricorn rising sign, sun sign, moon sign, or north node sign, this is going to be for you. If you watch in that order, I think that'll be the best for you. So rising sign first, because I think it's going to be most accurate. Then you can go to sun sign if you need like a little bit more strategy for dealing with the opportunities or obstacles that may pop up for you in the month. Moon sign is going to show you more of your emotional experience during the month, or possibly some of the subconscious patterns that are playing out that you might have to deal with. And then the North Node is going to be more of the things that your soul is paying attention to in its path forward, okay? So let's go ahead and get in, because I actually have all the cards out already. So your general energy and guidance for the month, Capricorn, is the card of Union, number 44, for those of you who are into numerology. So this is, in this context, talking about being at a place where you are fully balanced within yourself. Balance between your divine feminine and divine masculine aspects, or what we would call the sun and the moon, the active and the receptive energy. This is being able to be in the place where you're balanced between how you care for yourself, how you're of your own heart, of your body, of rest and restoration, all those things, in tandem with how powerfully you show up in the world. So I think this is a really beautiful energy, because overall for this year, Capricorn, I've seen so much growth, so much expansion, and so much maturity, and a warming up and an opening up of the core of you to have a more fulfilling experience of life. So this is really beautiful to see. This kind of feels like it's a graduation card, especially because this month we're going to kick off your birthday time once we hit the winter solstice. So I want to say in advance, congratulations for doing the work, for showing up, for being true to self without letting go of self in the accomplishment of your goals, right? Okay, so now in terms of relationships, those of you who are in committed partnerships already, it looks like there is, there may be some challenges in terms of just all the stuff you have to do. I mean, the holidays in general just might be really stressful, because it's like so many things that you have to manage. And my hope for you is that you can take the mastery that you've already, I feel, garnered over the past few months, and bring that into the family situation or the relationship situation, and take a load off. And it might be a time for both you and your partner to have some time away from each other, because you're already going to be spending a lot of time together at the end of the year anyway. If you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or any other end of the year stuff, and then of course New Year's, there's a lot of, giving to other people. So there might be an ask from your heart to maybe have a 3-day weekend for yourself. Just a couple days where it's just you, no one else. You're not having to show up. You're not having to perform. You're not having to be responsible for the care of someone else, just so that you can have time to rest and down regulate a bit, so that you can come back stronger to show up for those that you care for. So, yeah, try not to fight, right? Because I know the holidays can be a little high emotions. Now, for those of you who are single and looking, I do think that you possibly will meet somebody this month who either was on the radar earlier in the year, or maybe a couple months ago, and they circle back around, or they might have actually been a part of your life, or tangentially, whether you actually met them at some point in the past, and you guys are, for some reason, being able to reconnect because of some mutual connections. But there's some kind of sense of returning back to some old energy, but not like old cycle energy. I do still think that it's going to be new and better. Now, whether this is something that is potentially going to grow into something long term, not sure, because we're not still only, but we basically are now halfway through the transit of Saturn through Capricorn. So, this may be a way for you to check in and see where you are compared to where everyone else is that might be coming back around, because you may have shifted, and based off of what I'm seeing here with your general energy of the 88, the union card, you may be good. You may actually be in a different kind of space. So even though they might be a good catch, you might be like, I'm good right now. So, but go out, have fun. It's okay. Now, in terms of your career, it looks like there is something new opening up for you. So maybe there's a promotion or bonus that comes through. Who knows? But I think in general, it's actually going to be quite positive for you. Like in terms of the money that you're making right now, I think that you're actually going to be pretty stable for the month. I would be careful though about how much you spend, not just because it's the holidays, but I think that spending in this context, I think is going to be more so about investments. So if someone is starting to talk to you now, if you're thinking of, making investments for the future, or going into business with somebody else, or pouring a lot of money into a business, I would say hold off on that for right now, because you might not need to be putting that kind of effort in. You also might not need to, you might not also have all the information you need. So just give yourself some time on that one, okay? Now, in terms of, I think that's it, actually. I will say this, though, because Sagittarius had the death card for their overall energy, and that, for those of you who are Capricorn risings, this is going to be your 12th house energy. Jupiter is going to be going through this house, and when Saturn went through Sagittarius, it might have been a tough time for you. And now that Jupiter is going through, and then eventually Venus is going to go through, there will be a closing out of the cycle of some tough energy that you may have been experiencing, but that still might be a year off. So I think that it's important to be mindful of that. Because at least until Jupiter leaves Sagittarius, there may be some things that you still need to look at. But Jupiter in and of itself is more often than not healing and restorative, and is leading you on the path of spiritual and personal development. But just, stay open to the miracles, stay open to what may still be revealed, because that 12th house energy, for those of you who are Capricorn rising, is still not done yet. So you're still going to need a little time to kind of deal with that. And you might just really need to, that also might be another message for having a couple days on your own just to decompress. So let's see the beginning, middle, end for you for the month. Okay, so we have the Moon card. So that is, that could be that can talk about your intuition. This can talk about not seeing things clearly. So if that's coming up in relationships, just because that's the romantic, the committed partnerships, that could be what that is. It also could talk about the new moon, since that's the beginning of the month. That's in Sagittarius. Again, that's sitting in your 12th house energy. So there might have been a lot of things that kind of downloaded for you, or kind of helped you reset, or will help you reset at the beginning of the month. It also may relate to the full moon, because the Moon card is more of the full moon energy in the deck. That can talk about the full moon in Cancer, because that's actually going to be happening literally on the day of the beginning of Capricorn, on the winter solstice. So that may have some really potent messages for you. So pay attention definitely to the lunar activity this month, but also pay attention, to your subconscious, because the moon is the subconscious. All right. So what flew out was the Queen of Wands. This actually came up for Sagittarius, so I do think you need to go back and watch the Sagittarius video. And the clarification on that card is the Five of Swords, which is interesting because on the Sagittarius video, they had a Five of Cups clarifier. So I think in general, just the energy of the five, that transitional energy, is something to pay attention to. So, but this talks about being in your own personal power. Fire would definitely like burn through any kind of emotional fog and help you to see clearly. And it's also, of course, independence. And at the end of the month, we end with the Justice card, which is about balance and peace, which is a really beautiful place to end. And the message is sent from the King of Wands. So for Sagittarius, that when I was doing their beginning, middle, and end of the month messages, that was actually coming from the Emperor. So there is, in some way, a really close relationship between Saturn and Capricorn that's going on right now. So for those of you in particular who also are born in those days, who are that are like on the border of those two signs, you may really be needing to garner as much or extricate as much information as you can from these two readings for your life. And there's probably a lot of deep spiritual shifts and changes happening, and new karmic contracts that you can write for the future. So let's get closing guidance. Closing guidance is Justice card again. Okay, so this is, and look who, the Emperor, giving this message. So, okay, I think, on a deeper esoteric level, because the Justice card also talks about contracts. So this, again, can very much be about, now that you are in this place of union, and for, the 12th house energy, what you've been going through, this is actually the Sagittarian general energy card, the Death card, transformation. This is a time of the writing of new contracts for where you want to move forward. And I think in particular that new moon and the full moon are going to help you get in tune with where the trajectory is going to be. Like if you've been having a hard time figuring out what's next for you, this is the month when that clarity comes. So please, 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 as much as you're able, take time to get quiet and listen. Now, did I actually do your money? I don't think I did. Just in case, your money is looking great. You're going to be stable. Oh no, I did. It was like, for some reason, something was coming up around the money. You guys have concerns about money? Don't make emotional decisions about your money. I'll just say that. Because you'll be good otherwise, but don't make any emotional decisions. And I would actually say probably just because it's such an important time right now, it seems like for you. Wait until if you can actually, unless it's something that you've already been working on for a while and you already know the ins and outs, but if it's something new that's popping up, as much as possible, wait until after we hit new moon solar eclipse in your sign. Because the next new moon is going to be in Capricorn, right? And that's going to be on January 5th, but it's also the first eclipse of the year. It's a new moon solar eclipse. So it's going to be in your sign. It's going to start a new cycle of manifestation, 6-month manifestation. So you might not have all the information. And since that moon card did come up, just be careful. It might not be intentional, you not having the information, but it also could. So just watch it in terms of the money stuff, because for some reason I had to circle back around to that. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's stress in relationships. Maybe there's pressure to like move in, buy a house or whatever. No, not right now. Don't make that decision right now. More information is going to come to the light. Let it come to the light. Because there's still more to be revealed. Your cycle hasn't started yet. Okay? So for me, for any particular sign, if we're talking about like truly your birthday, we have to have the sun and the moon have their sun entering the sign and the new moon in that sign. So you have to wait until after January 5th before truly your new cycle starts. So just chill for right now, okay? All right, Capricorn, so that is your message for December. If you would like to book a session with me, whether tarot, astrology, energy healing, or spiritual life coaching, you can go to my website, andersonalchemy.com. Also there on the homepage, I have all the information about my Lightworker Academy. So if you would like to apply, the instructions are there. If you're not already following me on Instagram, follow me at Anderson Alchemy. I do weekly astrology and weekly Lightworker forecasts, okay? Much love to you. I'm proud of you, Capricorn. You did it and you're doing it. Stay in the process and have an amazing Happy New Year. Bye.